So I mean, it's pretty safe to say that the WuWa community is a little bit of a mess right now. And by little bit, I mean, well, just imagine a bar fight, except the bar in question is Twitter. We got the WuWa purists, the gacha gods, the male enthusiasts, the Genshin apologists, the hyper feminists, the giga misogynists, and it just goes on and on and on. And to be honest, it's not just WuWa. It really feels like a ton of gachas are imploding, with Infinity Nikke's horrible response to their player base, Tribe9 EOSing PGR players suddenly hating women. Where the fuck did this even come from? While I am gonna focus mainly on WuWa, I feel like I'd be dishonest if I said WuWa is the only one having problems here. So, where do we even begin? I suppose the best time to start would probably be at the beginning of the anniversary with the whole rewards debacle. We had people begging for more rewards, we had a whole region saying that we're greedy and stupid, and people on the next continent over saying that we're the same? So that means they're better?
Rewards are trash, but we got hella updates for the game! Yo, how does it feel? How does it feel to be just like us now?
Oh, okay, I guess. I think it's fair to say that overall most people expected a little more. That's not to say the rewards were awful. I mean, we got like 57 raw pulls alongside the typical asteroid through quest events and such and so forth. That's a lot of pulls. The only issue is 57 pulls and some more is a little bit on the smaller side when we're comparing them to, wow, 24 banners, including the weapon banners, of course. Of course, it's unrealistic to pull on every single banner as a free-to-play. That's natural. But even across 4 banners, that amount of pulls is kind of rough, let alone more than quadruple that number. Then there's the whole, the events suck. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely more on the mid side, but that's a conversation for another video. Needless to say, the events, while are supposed to be celebratory, it doesn't really let us celebrate that much. And while I do think the hate is more than warranted, seriously, you'd think Kuro took their children and offered them to be extras in a Final Destination movie. There are criticisms to be made, and they are pretty valid. But honestly, Annie's its own topic, and moving on to 2.4, it's a little bit redundant to keep talking about it. We'll cover that in another video. Let's have a change of scenery, and I hope you get used to it because, well, the real cesspool of nonsense is here. Let's start with something a little more basic, like, is that right? Oh, gender inequality. We're still talking about a gacha game, right? Okay, let's talk about the more literal sense, because of course, my action RPG gacha game has political issues. People want more men. It's pretty much everywhere. To be honest, I'll never complain about the lack of men in WuWa because I love women more, but the game needs to add more men, I guess. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want more men in WuWa. And you'll find more tweets like this the more you scroll on Twitter. It's like everywhere. Layman's terms, people aren't happy that we got one pair of balls in the sea of women. Some people think less testosterone is better. Some people say more women equal more goonerism. And then other people saying the woman's opinion don't matter. Nah, because the length that people will go to just to justify having less men in a video game is kinda insane. It's a mess. Like, take a look at these tweets. WuWa is a game made for men. Bro, the only difference between this guy and some 70-year-old boomer in Alabama is the fact that the 70-year-old is usually talking about the military, or being a boss in a job, or sports, or something else that completely doesn't matter. You're talking about tapping a couple buttons on your phone. To be honest, I think WuWa should have just had 0 male banners since the start because it sets up for false expectations. ZZZ had like 5 woman limited banners before a male character came around, so people's expectations were low. Are we justifying having low expectations? I'm sorry, your parents might have had low expectations, but if my kid is fucking up in class, I want that kid to do better. I don't care how stupid he is. Just saw a man's justifying the lack of males in WuWa by, they give us more females in WuWa to give us another chance to protect them after we failed to in PG. Yo, this cannot be real. This is the most incel shit I've ever heard. I really hope this was a joke. I tried to find this original tweet they quoted. I could not find it. But if this is real, brother, man, I don't know. You need help. It's because the game is made from... Come on, Tectone. Listen, we all know Techie. The man is a retired masturbator and now a full-fledged rage baiter. If he really believed this, he wouldn't have literally went out of his way to pull for Brand and pulled for specifically Gion during the anniversary banner of WuWa.
Gion, I want him. Let me get him.
If you don't believe it, well, there you go. I know it's a catch 50-50 with Tectone tweets. We all know he likes to goof around, but come on, let's use that noggin, guys. Bro's favorite character is Guts from Berserk. Like, I think Tectone is okay with having guy characters. So, yeah. I don't know why suddenly the whole WuWa is made for men and that means we only want women characters logic came from. Yes, the gacha genre definitely has a trend of catering to men. But WuWa isn't a lads and it isn't a Nikkei. So people wanting men and expecting guy characters to at least barely somewhat offset the majority female characters is a normal response. Fuck, I love all the women in this game and even I want some more guys because one, listen, sometimes I just want to be a badass fucking guy. Like what? It's the same reason I make a guy in an MMO with sick ass armor. And two, WuWa has some really cool fucking guy characters. Bro, if WuWa made shit like, oh, I don't know, Venti, or I don't know, Bennett, or whatever the fuck this thing is, I'd be on board with dropping the guys. But guess what? Kuro has made literal Sephiroth, our general and our king, this fucking guy who's had like a total of 5 minutes on screen, yet everyone and their mother wants to play them, Mr. Roboto, and this fucking goofball who literally is like everyone's favorite character. So yeah, give me more guys. Oh, and also, now that we're post 2.5 live stream and this guy has like the most liked post right now, yeah, all you people that say people don't want guys, yeah, go take a shower, stop being freaks. You're scaring the huzz, my guy. Also, like, can y'all not be fucking weird for 2 seconds? Like, I don't know how many times you gotta go over this, but women play games too. Some of the most well-known streamers are literally women who made a career off of gaming. And yes, they may be attractive, but the difference between a Valkyrie and an Emiru and someone like Amaranth is that Valkyrie and Emiru got popular through lots of games. Amaranth played games, but that's not why people watched her. So seeing tweets like this targeting literal well-established female figures within the community has to be the most socially unaware and borderline schizophrenic thing you can do. Ow. It's this guy again. Yeah, this guy's just a freak. This is a DNI moment. We all know his family line ends with him. That's all that is. Let's move forward. But let's not act like it's only one way. You see, for whatever reason, we're suddenly picking up this habit of calling video game characters prostitutes over their clothing. We got Malvika being called a prostitute for wearing a leather biker suit. We got Carlotta being called a prostitute for wearing a swimsuit. We got Cantarella being called a prostitute for having the bazongas that tilt the Earth's fucking gravity. No, literally, those things are the real Wuthering Waves. I'm sorry, did these fictional characters hurt you? Did Carlotta somehow offend you by having a one piece? Did Malvika having whatever fucking zipper this is steal your boy or girlfriend? Did Cantarella having a camel toe bring you back to a time where you got bullied in high school? But it's not the fan service that's a problem. It's more so the fact that there's clearly more fan service with the woman characters as opposed to the male characters, which is a fair argument. But let's not be on this high pedestal. Let's not act like we're better than everyone else, because at the end of the day, we all just want something to goon to. I've never seen an audience that will both actively slut shame and want the horniest thing possible. And from what I've seen, a lot of these comments are coming from angry women who are upset regarding the sexualization of these make-believe characters. And yes, that is a valid argument. But like I said before, a lot of these people just want sexualization of the men as well. So you're not against sexualization, you're against fetishization, because you can't demean one act of sexualization and then praise another. That's not how it works. You sound dumb. Let's stop being hypocritical for a second and understand the truth of the matter. Sex sells. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what customs you believe in. At the end of the day, if you want to make easy money, you make a hot character. You give them abs, you give them big titties, you give them muscle-tight shirts or make them shirtless. You give them a big butt, you give them a cock zipper. Yes, I do not understand what their thought process was with this. It's the same reason why games like League of Legends don't really release monster characters anymore. Because guess what? If you like the character at first sight, you're more than likely gonna buy it. It's not a, this is all insert gender R. It's a, please buy our product. And y'all need to stop getting so emotionally invested in something that does not really need it. And listen, I'm not saying that them sexualizing the character is impossible, and I'm not saying that that might be their stance on gender politics, if you really want to go there. But what I am saying is that just because it can be, doesn't mean it will be, or that's exactly what it is. Especially in a game where the most you're gonna see as a normal player is weird jiggle physics. As opposed to games that are literal borderline porn that even Tectone himself has said is too much for him.
DK kind of cool, but Brown Death 2 is a little bit too much for me. Even me. Like, even me, that's too much sexualization. So
We're getting mad because Carlotta is wearing a swimsuit during a summer event as an optional skin. Can y'all please not be parasocial for like 2 seconds? I'm begging. And like this character design is ugly / makes no sense argument, and then the whole argument is just standing on, oh, it's just too much skin. Has to be the most boomer argument I've ever seen. You'd think I'm talking to someone's great grandfather that just went to his first OnlyFans convention. Oh, they're only designed that way so that people buy them. Yes, that's exactly it. I don't know how you arrived at the destination and still managed to be lost. It's nothing more than that. And if your argument is that it supports the fetishization of tropes / women / men, and you want to revolutionize the gacha space with the accolades of having 2 banger tweets, well, I'm sorry to tell you, trying to be the Ganda of gacha games isn't gonna make the impact that you think it's gonna make. And it's also not gonna up your social credit, at least in the gacha community. I'm not discouraging you from trying, but you have to understand gacha game fans are ridiculous levels of stubborn, trailing behind the anime fans and K-pop fans. So maybe we should start somewhere a little more accepting, work our way up, and then you could try and tackle the raid boss that is this moron. Then we go to the gatekeepers, the gods of gachas, the proclaimed chosen ones that will save the space. Can we please remember this is a fucking mobile game? This game is in the same category as Candy Crush Saga. Sorry, whoops, wrong picture. Listen, the color matching can be kind of confusing, you know. Hold on. There it is. Candy Crush Saga. Does it have surprisingly in-depth mechanics? Yeah. Is it harder than most other gacha games? Debatable. Does it have a decent amount of skill expression? Yeah, definitely. But as long as you've played a video game in your life, you'll easily get through majority of the game. It's not like League of Legends or CSGO or Tekken or Street Fighter where having the skill is a prerequisite to even stand in the higher echelons. That is not required at all in a mobile game. That is half the difficulty of any Souls-like, let alone the fact that we're playing against static CPUs as opposed to an actual human. The reason I'm focusing on this is because, well, this clip kind of happened.
They have no idea how to play this game. They have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They're literally tourists in their own game. In fact, I challenge every single one of them. $500 right now. We can race. See who can clear tower fastest on a fresh account. $500. I will wager on the line. Every single one of you pussy bitches won't accept it. You know why? Because you suck ass at this game. You don't know how to actually play it. All you do is drama baits and farm on cooldown. You don't know any of the woes about this game. You don't actually understand anything you are talking about. You're all pathetic, stupid bitches. Fuck you, Saint. Fuck you, Ethan. Fuck you, Cap. Fuck every single one of you drama baiting motherfuckers. You're all disgusting to me.
Well, that's who he's
Fuck
talking
you, Tectone,
about.
too, especially.
Okay, so I'm familiar with Renee. I'm even subscribed to him. I think he makes pretty interesting content. I mean, it's content I wouldn't do myself, but I do think watching his content in the condensed and video edited form is entertaining. And it is a niche within the WuWa community that wasn't really tapped into before. The part I don't agree with is this whole, your opinion doesn't matter because you're not good at the game / play as much as me take. Listen, I'm not here to comment on his idea of a slop tuber, but what I will say is this, drama is king. It always will be. People like to argue, people like to debate, people like to see people butt heads and call each other idiots. That will never change. And honestly, some of the people he called out like Ethan and Cabinets, I barely see them getting into any drama. They're more like news channels when they aren't uploading their own WuWa content. So if you're gonna go at them, you might as well go at CNN or ABC or New York Times. While Tectone and Saint do get themselves into a fair share of drama and monetize it, what makes them a slop tuber as opposed to any other YouTuber? At the end of the day, they are here to entertain. Hell, Tectone's been slowly transitioning out of a gacha tuber and honestly has been more of a react tuber as of late anyway. So saying he's a plague on the WuWa CC community, when at the end of the day he's just a guy that comments on and plays WuWa when there's things to do, seems a little motivated. And sorry to say, but Rene going out of his way to talk about this on multiple occasions makes him a slop tuber too. If we're going by his definition, this whole drama is cheap content. Well, yeah, it's content that people like. Just like how pop songs typically do well on radio charts, or how Tom Holland is going to be an option for any action adventure movie, or how McDonald's is a cheap and easy option for food. Say what you want, but if this is the slop that people want to see, I don't see the villainy in some girl or guy sitting in their room giving free content that some people clearly want. Different forms of content can coexist. If you like the drama and the more update-centric and news-relation content, you go to the Saints, the Ethans, and the Cabinets. If you want more game-related content and lore expansions, you could go to Comfy Rini, Gojira Kai, Life Lessons Gaming, Rate Up Radio, Powberry, or Blazion, who's even up and coming. And if you want the challenge content, go to Wallenstein or Rene. You can dislike a particular category, but you need to understand a community needs to have all these different options in order to flourish. Elitism takes many forms, and just like how people touting about how great WuWa is compared to game X, Y, and Z, doesn't make the community more fun to be around. Neither does, if you can't speedrun this game in X, Y, and Z conditions, you don't know what you're talking about and you can't inform anybody about anything in this game. Guys, it doesn't take a NASA scientist giga brain, whoever the fuck, to tell you that the fire character will probably use the fire set the best. Now that being said, on top of that, I do not see the point in arguing with other content creators, especially as a viewer. Listen, if they have different views and you guys have both tried to see each other's views and it's just not working, guess what? You could choose to not interact with them, and you could choose to interact with whatever other content creator or other fucking people that I just mentioned beforehand. Like, guys, you have free will. We're sentient out here. Come on. But if we really want to talk about comparing, listen, man, you have to compare. For all the little kids typing about, oh, just enjoy your own game, blah, blah, blah. We can enjoy different things, blah, blah, blah. Just because this does that doesn't mean this game has to do this. All right, Elmo. Let's put the yoo-hoo away and at least attempt to be an adult. If you don't compete, you don't improve. It's that simple. If Wuthering Waves wasn't at least trying to be better than Genshin, then Wuthering Waves would, well, I'm gonna have to ask what combination of opioids you took to make a game less intuitive or about as intuitive as Genshin. But also, no game would ever be a better option than Genshin. And I know that the Hoyo shills don't want that, but I personally actually paid attention to all those tormented games of Monopoly to understand that yes, a Monopoly is not fun. It never was fun, never has been fun, and never will be fun. So yes, while I'm sure it hurts that your precious little slot machine isn't the God-given gift that it never was, let's not glorify pledging allegiance to a company that just wants you to spend more money on half-baked products. And yes, I am shooting at Genshin, but guess what? The second WuWa starts doing that constantly and shows zero signs of improvement, I'm gonna say the same exact thing about Wuthering Waves and Kuro Games. Unless they sponsor me, please sub so I have a chance of being sponsored by Kuro Games 2.4 is gonna run my wallet, please. Apple didn't become one of the most popular brands of all time by not comparing themselves to Samsung or Microsoft. YouTube didn't implement shorts and live streaming because they looked at Twitch and TikTok and went, wow, they're so cool, and then proceeded to jack off in the corner. And newsflash, Genshin wouldn't have existed if this didn't exist. Same way how Wuthering Waves probably wouldn't be a thing if Genshin never succeeded. All of these products that were born out of the thought, I want to do that but more, are never going to not be compared, because they were born out of comparison to begin with. So let's stop being babies and getting hurt when one game is doing better or doing something better than the other. How about instead of crying about being bullied, you, I don't know, ask for some change in your game, or better yet, play the game that listens to your requests. Unless you're Doro, Ziox, or some other Genshin tuber, you ain't getting paid to play the game, so just do yourself a favor and make the free time you spend a little more enjoyable. And guess what? The people that are getting paid also play WuWa anyway, so what is your excuse? Now, that being said, can I ask the WuWa community to stop comparing itself to Genshin?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Now, hold on, hear me out. Shh. Just listen. I understand that's not a realistic ask, and I also understand it sounds completely hypocritical to everything I just talked about. But I'm not really asking for us to stop comparing Wuthering Waves to games. And like I said, Genshin is quite literally the direct competitor, so it's always going to be compared. But can we please raise the standard? The idea that WuWa has to live up to or reach Genshin standards feels more like an insult at this point and seems so undermining. I truly believe that Wuthering Waves has the potential to be so much more than the average gacha game. And of course, the fact that it's a gacha game will always hold it back from Expedition 33 levels of beauty. But we've already seen this game make shockwaves through the gaming community. We have people like Asmongold, Nicholas Light, and my supposed twin brother Mudahar throw their hat in the ring that is Wuthering Waves. Before even year 1 finished, Wuthering Waves was nominated for an award at the Game Awards, and then Jeff Keighley himself announced and revealed footage of one of the most highly anticipated characters for the past couple of months. Just recently, Kuro Games and Wuthering Waves hit 1 million followers. And not only that, Wuthering Waves is gonna have an event at the Summer Games Fest. So, Wuthering Waves is definitely becoming so much more than I think Kuro ever anticipated, and honestly more than we ever expected. So why are we limiting ourselves? Let's compare Wuthering Waves to games of higher caliber and aim for the stars for what we want. Keep the developers hungry and ambitious and keep our expectations high so that they know that unless they put in 1000%, their game will never be finished or completed or enough, and that we will always be wanting more. So they need to put in that work. I want to one day say, yo, God of War story was crazy, but you know, Wuthering Waves also kind of blew me away. Or hey, if you like Expedition 33 soundtrack, you'll love Wuthering Waves. Yes, WuWa still needs to catch up in some things with Genshin, but why are we aiming so low? I could care less that Augusta mogs Malvika, and that's coming from someone who thought Malvika was a pretty okay design. In isolation. I know there are problems surrounding it, but that's not the point. I could care less that we got Echo loadouts before Genshin, and I definitely don't give a fuck about arguments regarding Hoyo's Annies versus WuWa's Annies, because let's be so fucking real, they're all mid and you all need to ask for more from these billion-dollar or million-dollar companies. I don't want WuWa to be just better than Genshin. I want WuWa to be better, and so should you. So, I mean, yeah. As of right now, we're in the this is peak stage of the community following 2.4's live stream. So things are looking pretty sick. But at some point, the cycle does get tiring. And it does suck hearing that a lot of players are being advised to not interact with the community if they want to enjoy the game, because that's just kind of lame. This community has a lot of good to it, but as with anything else, there's also a lot of ickiness. I'm not expecting it to be sunshine and roses, and honestly, a lot of it just stems from Twitter. But hey, it could be like the TikTok community. All I want from people to take away from this video is that we have a really sick game in front of us, and it would suck for something we like to be held back by a community. It wouldn't be my first rodeo. Let's aim for more quality, not just quality over Genshin. Let's cut back the elitism and let this game flourish to a wider audience. And let's not undermine other people just because you have different views, and actually engage in productive conversation. And if that's such an issue for you, then just don't interact with those people. Because at the end of the day, I'm the only motherfucker that deserves